we've got a golf simulator coming in studio. And yes, that'll be sponsored. So if you're thinking you want it, hey, most valuable real estate in media in the state of Mississippi. We are the Out of Bounds Show, 105.9 The Zone ESPN. We're brought to you by one of the best steakhouses in the country. Speaking of, Kessler Prime and the Renaissance, ribeyes, New York strips, 12-ounce filet, side of crab meat, another side of bacon-wrapped shrimp. Start with some fried crab claws. Escargot, award-winning Elijah Craig bourbon. KesslerPrime.com to make a reservation. Unbelievable. Ole Miss and Southern Miss trying to punch their ticket to the Super Regional and host. And then, and this thing's lining up. I mean, really lining up for Ole Miss. They got Murray State today. They're much better than Murray State. And then they host the Duke Blue Devils. Duke has a nice team, far from, some kind of superpower. So this could be another direct, line to Omaha for Mike Bianco. Southern Miss, they'll play at 8 o'clock. Was that an Eastern time? Okay.
Central.
8 o'clock Central at Pete Taylor Park.
Late for the Miami boys. That's like 9 o'clock for them usually, right?
That's right, it is.
Keep pushing it.
Okay. 5 o'clock for Ole Miss against Murray State, and they just absolutely smoked Murray yesterday. And then Southern Miss and Miami tonight.
Correct.
All right. And by the way, Ole Miss took Georgia Tech out. That was a hell of a ball game.
It was a good game. I
mean, all kinds of back and forth in that game and lead changes and both coaches trying to find guys who could just get outs, kind of on fumes type deal. And because Georgia Tech can play, they've got a good team. And Ole Miss answered the bell late. And Georgia Tech, man walks. I mean, look at what Mississippi State couldn't throw strikes. And Georgia Tech didn't throw strikes. And you leave that window open for a team like that can absolutely rake. And you're going to get in trouble. Georgia's out, Clemson's out, Vandy's out. I mean, it's been crazy pills and insanity over the weekend as we watch the regionals, and we still got more baseball today in the state of Mississippi. And if they win, you'll have more next weekend. Huge for Oxford and Hattiesburg if they land a super regional. Let's see, USM versus Louisville, if that happened. Dan McDonald, very familiar with the state of Mississippi, Mike Bianco's first right-hand man. That's back when they were super young, 2001, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? They got that thing going in Oxford. Absolutely abused Ron Polk and his staff. And that 04, 05, 06 run of super regionals against Texas, Miami, and Virginia, one of those was Brian O'Connor. Brian O'Connor took Ole Miss's manhood and hopes and dreams in one of those super regionals. But those teams were loaded. Dan McDonald and Louisville back in a super regional. Southern Miss playing for one. Duke in a super regional. Ole Miss playing for one. But Georgia was eliminated. So the Rebs have the seed at number 10.
Southern?
Huh?
I think Southern may.
Southern does too.
If they win, they host.
If they win, they host. I don't know what goes on between Miami and Louisville. I haven't run those numbers yet.
I'm not worried about that. Southern's hosting.
What now?
Come on now. Southern's hosting. I'm not worried about
Southern's hosting.
Parlay them and Ole Miss will win it. Let's go.
Hey, the Golden Moon Casino text line is 601-885-3776. Table games and sportsbook inside the moon. Twitter X at BowBounds. And the Michelob Ultra caller line, 601-707-3750. Are you excited about us getting a golf simulator?
Whoever's going to sponsor that ought to sponsor this swing.
Yes.
Just make sure there's not a club in my hands. It'll fly. I don't know what they use for a simulator. Is it a club?
Yeah.
So you use a club still?
You use whatever club you want.
Just watch
You
and
can
learn.
use a driver, 7-iron. whatever you want.
I was pretty
3
good.
wood.
Pretty good at golf on the Wii. Whenever the Wii first came out.
Oh, I could see you playing a lot of Wii. Wilkes had a Wii 100 years ago.
Yeah.
I felt like he was 20. Felt like that was like
8,
5 or 6, 7, 8. Yeah.
Had to been.
Yeah, I remember
Oh, man.
playing with him some.
I love that thing.
Yeah. That thing was wild.
Like,
It was kind of a fad?
Well, yeah, somewhat. Like,
Because it couldn't go against PlayStation.
Nah, not a chance.
Or what's the other one?
Xbox.
Yeah.
Not a chance.
But it was hot there for a couple of years,
so
right?
Hot, so hot.
What were like the top 2 or 3 games? Because you were moving. I remember moving around with it, right? You were like if you were playing tennis, you were actually, boom, making a forehand stroke, right? Or a backhand stroke or an overhead stroke. Is that right?
That's correct.
Okay.
But it was all about Mario Kart and driving it.
That's what it was.
It was the driving. And that's what sold it, and boom.
Super Mario?
Super Mario.
What a great game.
Man, what a franchise.
What a franchise.
How much money do you think they've generated?
How many billions over the last 25 years has Super Mario generated?
I don't even know where to put the number.
Who owns it? Sony? I don't even know who has the rights to all that stuff. I'm sure someone does because they bought stock early.
It's Nintendo, yeah.
Oh, Nintendo. That makes sense. I know what Nintendo is. I played that as a kid all the time.
Nintendo.
Maybe not all the time, but some.
Smooth 55
billion. Hold on. I was about to go into Brian O'Connor. Let's go over that one more time. Super Mario has generated $55 billion.
That's correct.
That is awesome.
The Super Mario franchise. That's unreal.
I can remember playing that game 100 years ago and thinking it was the coolest thing in the world.
It was.
Is it still played, or did it lose its legs?
Mario Kart is still.
I guess you just grab a new generation of kids, right?
Well, now they went from the Wii.
Every year you got a new group of 4-year-olds,
right? Who's going to love
5-year-olds, right? It's like travel ball. It's never going away because every year you got a new group of parents that are running. I mean, I can remember years ago. You run out on the field first time your kids are playing sports. That's why that thing will always be funded. Same thing with Super Mario, right?
Oh yeah.
Or cereal that's bad for you.
Well, I didn't also realize that they're making $3 billion off of films. Featured
what?
Yes, featured films have grossed them $3 The Super Mario series
is that annually?
Alone, no.
Okay.
Super Mario series alone has been $26 The Mario spinoff games, another 17. Other Mario games, another 5.
Holy smokes!
That's incredible. The strategy guides that they have made them $1 billion.
Hey, Mississippi State and Starkville, Mississippi won over Virginia and Charlottesville, Virginia. They landed Brian O'Connor, one of the top 5 college baseball coaches in the country. Lifted him, making $1.5 million a year. They took him. They're taking some big-time assistants. So on National Bubba Day, Bubba's a nickname.
Nice.
The Bubbas won. Brian O'Connor this morning is at Duty Noble Field in one of those beautiful loft condos. It's on in Starkville. Jay Powell will join us. We'll tell you when. Good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. I'm your host, Bo Bounds. You know, I haven't had access to this. Whoa.
We're going to give Daddy the Rain Man suite. Do you dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Money, we're going to be up 500 by midnight.
Vegas!
Vegas, baby, Vegas!
Hey, they gave Brian O'Connor the Rain Man suite, didn't they? He's in one of the lofts. His other assistant coach is in another loft. Not a bad deal to be in a really, really cool condo overlooking the field that you are now the head baseball coach of.
So dope.
And they're letting people know about it on Twitter, as they should. You know, they didn't have a facility. You know, Grisham pumped in. I don't remember what John Grisham pumped Mississippi State undergrad, but he went up there, you know, 35 years ago. And he made Charlottesville home. And then he pumped in millions. I want to say 12 million, but I can't remember. His son was, I guess, a preferred walk-on or something. Pat McMahon didn't take him. That caused a little bit of a rift. Dr. Keenum's put that back together. Obviously, you got the Grisham Library at Mississippi State. But Grisham pumped in money, and really they haven't done anything since. And that was back when O'Connor was building the Virginia baseball program from the jump. Yeah. And then as things happened, the reset in TV contracts and media rights and media money, the ACC has fallen behind. As you know, that's why Florida State wants out, Clemson wants out, North Carolina want out, and they may battle through the courts, they may not. I don't know how that's, you know, the grant of rights thing, and everybody's locked in till 2036. I don't know how that's going to look. But you know that Florida State's mad as hell. You know that Clemson's upset. You know that North Carolina's upset. However, I would have said, why would you have ever signed a grant of rights binding you to be a part of the ACC for that long? But whoever did that, I think it was Swafford, because that's not the current commissioner. I think he got that thing done before he headed out. But anyway, the ACC, as y'all know, does not have a good media deal or football deal. No. And the ACC network's never going to take off. But the SEC and the Big Ten are the two conferences that have all the money. Although I'll give the Big 12 credit. I saw their number over the weekend, and they're distributing $560 million. Well, they actually have the Pac-12 just did it to themselves. Right. You know, you mix in people who academia and this and that, they should be open for business, but they're not. The Big 12 said this isn't going to happen to us. And they actually did a pretty damn good job and this guy's thinking of anything and everything you can do to generate revenue. But on the Mississippi State, Virginia front, you know, Mississippi State is in the SEC, like Ole Miss. You get the big check. Plus you're committed to baseball. You already built the cathedral. And you don't have to build it in today's construction money. Like if you wanted to do that today, it's $250 million. And that's a good thing. A lot of teams have added on and added on and added on to their baseball stadium, and it will never look like the modern cool look of Duty Noble Field. Nope. And Clark and Palmero built that, Polk built that, Cohen, you know, Renfro, Mangum, Tanner Allen. There's a bunch of dudes that did you just drop Brent Rooker?
I have, man. That's a $40 million man.
60.
Sorry, yeah.
He signed for 60 with the soon-to-be Las Vegas A's, but they had to make a pit stop in Sacramento.
Love that.
Yeah, which is crazy.
I get you to NorCal State, all right.
Yeah, you can still party.
Oh, yeah.
if you're making that much money in Sacramento. You know, Kevin Johnson was the mayor of Sacramento, former point guard for the Phoenix Suns.
Really?
I was rooting for the Suns in '93 over the Bulls. It was easy to root for Michael, so everybody was rooting for the Bulls and MJ. I was rooting for Barkley and KJ and Marley. Yeah, and it ripped my heart out.
Just want to let you know, Big Rook sitting at 267 on the year with 13 bombs and 31 ribbies.
He's already got 13 homers and 31 RBIs.
June, he's got another month and a half before the All-Star break, so you got to put him back. You got to hit about 40 bombs this year. There, last year he was teetering. He had like 38, 39 to the end of the year, and he came up and he just came one short.
He came up one. He hit
a
39.
bomb. He hit a bomb in the next to last game, I believe.
Okay,
and then didn't clip the last one to get a 40. But this year, my man's swinging the bat again.
Can you know Brent Rooker's one of the funniest people. Like he's got that dry wit, dry humor that's perfect for Twitter, kind of like Lane. Yep. And like he is really, really funny. The things that he'll do and say on Twitter. Can you imagine what he was thinking when they were playing in front of 27 people in the Oakland A's ballpark in that last year? You remember all those pictures of just section after section after section empty? Crazy. By the way, you know that Brent Rooker has been in this studio. Another guy that got the out of bounds magic. Mangum, Rooker, Minshew, I mean, it goes on and on.
We missed it. Yeah, we did.
What?
May 3rd. Well, we didn't miss it, but May 31.
What? Jake Mangum hit a home run.
Mangum goes yard.
No, we didn't miss it. You missed it because you slept all weekend.
That's a good point.
But Jake Mangum hit his first home run back with the Tampa Bay Rays.
Look at him.
And Stacy Mangum, his mom, who's been in studio with Jake, it was the cutest video of her dancing around when he hit it.
That's awesome.
It was so cool. And then they swapped it out with the fan, and the fan was more than, I mean, he was excited about it. He was a Tampa Bay Ray fan, and Jake signed a bat and a ball, and they did the trade.
Good.
And then Stacy has you can see her. She's all over social media, Twitter and Instagram. She's holding the ball, Jake Mangum's first home run ball.
What a swing.
There wasn't any doubt.
And of course, the guy that catches it.
Yeah.
What color is he wearing? Maroon.
Yeah.
Oh, he looks.
Was he a dog too, or did they just put maroon on him?
I don't know. I'm looking. I think there. Who knows? I mean, in Houston, that's where they were.
I didn't follow. Okay, it could have been a Mississippi State guy.
I'd like to know.
Y'all help me out if it was.
Yeah, we got to find that out.
The Golden Moon Casino text line, 601-885-3776. Jake Mangum got called back up and was and hit a home run.
He looks relieved to hit that bomb, too.
Yeah, I think he's like,
all right, we're here.
He's like, dude, I can hit for some power. He can definitely hit for gap power without a problem.
That's a big bomb.
But the bottom line, he's going to be on base.
Batting fifth. What I tell you now.
Well, they had him second. I think his first came back, but then they moved him to fifth.
He has peppered the top five.
Good for him, man. Hey, as Jake Mangum says, go local, go with the home team. Bundle your auto and home and save with your local Farm Bureau insurance agent. Jay Powell's going to join us at 9:30 today. World Series champ for the Marlins, All-American at Mississippi State. You heard him on the call over the weekend. So Jay Powell, and a lot of you switched over to that because, the Florida State guys were kind of
bad or biased.
Well,
both.
Let's just say this: they tried.
There we go.
They tried.
That'll work.
But the better team won. And I do need to say, Justin Parker and Jake Gautreaux did a magnificent job for Mississippi State. And what Jake Gautreaux went through, 4 head coaches, he could write a book on adversity in the ups and downs. Canizero, Henderson, Lamonis, Parker, Jake Gautreaux and Justin Parker did a hell of a job for Mississippi State. And Hunter Hines ended up having a hell of a season. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Hey, good morning. Welcome into the Out of Bounds Show. I have to drop this again because it's fitting with what Brian O'Connor and Kevin McMullen are doing. Brian O'Connor, the new head baseball coach at Mississippi State. Kevin McMullen, assistant coach.
They're going to give Daddy the Rain Man suite. Do you dig that? We're going to Vegas, Mike.
Vegas! You think we get there by midnight?
Money, we're going to be up 500 by midnight.
Ah,
Yeah.
Vegas!
Vegas, baby! Vegas!
Well, they gave Brian O'Connor the Rain Man suite. He gets to stay in a loft condo for as long as he wants, overlooking Duty Noble Field while he's recruiting and working the portal. He is your new head baseball coach at Mississippi State. 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, played for the national title twice, and won one. Don't forget, and I didn't realize this when I was there, but when I was sitting in the stands in 2000, he was at Duty Noble Field during the regional when Maneri was the head coach for Notre Dame. Brian O'Connor was an assistant coach at Notre Dame. And that was it was Travis Chapman and Tom Martin, I think, that put on a clinic. And they had a hell of a run at a place that's, can be difficult, although they've done a good job up there. I mean, Notre Dame was just in the Super Regional a few years ago in 2021. And Lamonis told me after they won the title, he said the 2 best teams we played all year, I thought, top to bottom, in the field, at the plate, and on the mound, were Texas and Notre Dame. And don't forget, they had to play Virginia and Vanderbilt to win it, which would, remember, the last time Mississippi State played Virginia, Brian O'Connor national championship year, they beat Virginia with the Tanner Allen swing, right? And so Virginia was on that side of the bracket along with Texas. We're talking about a loaded field. MSU, Virginia, and Texas on that side of the bracket. So Brian O'Connor had already been at Duty Noble Field. Okay? Before the new stadium, Jackson. But Brian O'Connor was on that staff in 2000 when Mississippi State won the regional against Notre Dame and Paul Maneri. O'Connor was an assistant coach there from 1995 to 2003. And they reached the College World Series in 2002.
And then he made the transition?
He went from Notre Dame to Virginia.
Really?
Yeah.
So he's had 2 jobs in the past 30 years. Is what you're telling me.
That's exactly right. Notre Dame with Paul Maneri.
Wow.
And then him being the head coach with 9 super regionals, 7 College World Series, 2 national championship appearances, and a title.
The lifer, man. Give him the support, he'll stay.
Look, he's only 54 years old.
Yeah.
The guy can he coach as long as he wants this day and age. Look at him. He takes care of himself. But let's just say he wants to make a 10-year run and make $20 million. And that would be huge for Mississippi State. But more importantly, you want to put yourself in position to go to a super. It's all about the supers. Once you get to 16, then, you can kind of see Omaha. He wants to put this roster in position, give Ole Miss, Southern Miss, they're in position to go to super regionals. Okay. Other teams like Florida State and Duke have punched their ticket. And put yourself in position to go to and to host. You got to host some. You're not going to host every year, but because it's too competitive in the SEC, but you've got to host, I don't know, ideally once every 3 or 4 years. So if he could host, 3 times, possibly 4, and you don't ever know, like Ole Miss is running into who's going to lose on the other side, or Southern Miss, who's going to lose on the other side of the bracket, which means if you win your regional, you get to host, even though you weren't a national seed, because we've had national seeds going down left and right.
Yeah, I mean, number 1.
Right.
Go.
Vanderbilt's gone.
Go.
Wright State, put them out.
Where's Wright State at? Where are they from?
I don't know. Are they in Indiana?
I have no clue. Let me look at.
I'm not even sure, my man.
I mean,
Didn't they have some decent basketball teams at times? Maybe. I think they're one of those. Maybe
Dayton, Ohio.
Ooh, I missed on that.
Dayton.
What'd I say? Indiana.
Yeah, that's close.
Well, that's close.
That's close enough.
I mean, what's the difference?
There isn't.
Well, Ohio's a better sports state. Well,
Oh, easy.
I mean, you got the
The Pacers are in the finals, baby.
yeah, they did beat the Knicks.
Thank the Lord.
Whoa.
Can't stand the Knicks.
You're not in?
No,
Oh, because you're Celtics.
Yeah, I don't like
That's
Knicks.
right. They just took your Celtics.
they did.
And your best player popped his Achilles,
Yeah.
which I hate to see. I got to see him play. Lee Pace and I went down to New Orleans in January, and I got to see Tatum play.
Unreal.
And he hit the last second shot against the Pelicans like I sip on coffee.
I'm telling you.
The guy is silky. I don't think you realize how good he is until you see Jason Tatum play in person. You don't realize how well he moves around the court and how physically dominant he is. Like, he's built.
Yeah.
He moves people around in the NBA.
And people think he's a string bean.
No, he's strong as a bull. Yeah. Anyway, man, we got a lot going on.
Yeah. Calipari's going to be at the finals, all finals. He gets to go up there and, flaunt his old players that are up there.
What?
He's got multiple players in the finals. Calipari does.
Well, Cal will find courtside seats.
His media ways.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
He'll sit beside a celebrity.
Yep.
And he'll have on Arkansas red, which is still weird to me. I haven't quite transitioned from Cal being in Kentucky blue for years. We forget how long he was there to now Arkansas red. Arkansas is now a basketball, baseball school. Mississippi State's now, I guess, a basketball, baseball school, but you got to turn it and be a football school soon too.
4 weeks ago, they pitched a fit because he was taking pictures with the old Memphis guys. I'm sorry, the old Kentucky players.
Why? It's still promoting.
Exactly.
It's
his guy.
If a fan can't.
MVP. Sorry. Oh,
I mean, he's doing is saying, hey, look, since all the way back to Marcus Camby or even before when he was an assistant at Pitt, and I don't remember if anybody went to the NBA there from there, but I'm sure I know they have. I'm talking about while he was there.
Right.
Cal has driven just dozens and dozens of players to the league.
How many do you think it is?
And what he did at Kentucky was simply amazing. You could argue he should have won another national championship, and that's fine. But, dude, he recruited a bunch of players to go on to the NBA and got all over that one and done thing. Problem is, I think he realized it a little too late, and now he's flipping the script with the portal. It's so funny because Cal won with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds, and that's extremely difficult to do once you get into March Madness. Like when they ran into Wisconsin when they were undefeated.
Yes.
Did Wisconsin have more like basketball talent and upside and athleticism? No, but they had a bunch of 22 and 23-year-olds, and Cal was playing with a bunch of 18 and 19-year-olds in that first game in the I think they lost in the semis, not the national championship when they were undefeated that year. But my point is now in the portal, whether you're Lane, whether you're Cal, whether you're Jans, whether you're Beard, whether you're Brian O'Connor, you want to be older through the portal because, you have the ability to go stack juniors and seniors.
Right.
And look at Florida this year. I mean, they had a bunch of dudes who had played a ton of basketball. Look at Ole Miss this year. Beard had one of the oldest teams in the country.
Yeah.
Old guys who had just games after games after games under their belt.
Matters, man.
And Padula had played forever. What I said last year, you kept forgetting. You feel like he's been around forever since he started since 8th grade at MRA.
Yeah.
Josh Hubbard was only a sophomore this past year and a freshman the year before. Padula was 2-3 years older. These things matter. And that's why Cal realizes he wants to be old with that Arkansas Razorback team.
How many players do you think he's sent to the NBA draft, selected in the draft? His career.
Oh, gosh.
I just want to know where you put the number at.
Well, give me an over-under so I can decide if I go over or
give me
under.
over under 30.
Over?
Yeah, well over. Over under 40?
Over?
50. 50's a high number.
That is a high number for basketball.
I'd say bunch.
15 years at Kentucky, Camby,
32 total.
Derrick Rose and all the guys at Memphis.
Right.
I'm going over.
Let's go over. Over, under 60. That's a lot of freaking players, man.
25 years. Plus another 5 or 6 at UMass.
I mean,
I'm going to go over one more time.
58.
Oh!
Right there, though, man. I
man.
mean, 58. 41 first rounders.
41 first rounders by John Calipari.
4 number ones.
4 number ones.
I mean,
do you have them in there?
Yeah, the 4, yeah, for
Hold
sure.
on.
You got them.
Did Rose go number 1?
Yeah, Rose went number 1.
Did Anthony Davis go
AD
number 1?
went number 1.
Did John Wall go number 1?
John Wall went number 1. I don't know if you'll get this one. He's still playing.
Hold on. Boogie?
No.
No. Hold on. Is he a guard or a postman?
He's a postman. He is every bit of a postman.
Oh, the one at Minnesota.
Cat.
Yeah.
No, he's not in Minnesota anymore.
Oh, he got moved to
New York.
Yeah. Okay. So those are the 4 number ones?
Those 4.
Damn, if Derrick Rose, if his knees don't get hurt,
Man, yeah.
he's like Allen Iverson.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah,
I got to see him live in 2008 in Little Rock when Stansbury won his first game.
Yeah.
And Cal won his first game.
Right.
And Derrick Rose and Jamont Gordon and Charles Rhodes, and I can't remember that other unbelievable player on Memphis' team. He was insane. Kind of a combo 3-4. It was a hell of a game, but the best player on the floor, and I give Jamont a lot of credit. He was great. The best player on the floor who was unstoppable was Derrick Rose.
Yeah.
The way that he could stop and elevate. Like we talk about how Hubbard elevates and then releases so high. That's why you can't get, I mean, it doesn't matter that he's 5'10". Once he comes off the floor and then releases, he may as well be 6'8".
Yeah.
Derrick Rose would stop and pop from inside the 13, 14, 15 feet. Even a Charles Rhodes couldn't get it because by the time he released the shot, it was like he
You're
was
just
6'9".
going up. Yeah, I mean, you're just going up. You're trying to recover.
His feet would be at like Charles Rhodes' chest.
Golly. While he was
He's
in
one of the
Kentucky.
best. I've been to a bunch of NBA games. He's one of the best players I've ever seen play in my life.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cal at Kentucky. It's only 15 years. 49 draft picks.
What?
35 first rounders in 15 years. That is 2 a year.
All right, I got to get back into Brian O'Connor.
know.
Can we drop that audio?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, we've got some Brian O'Connor. We're going to have Jay Powell on. Hold on. Let me see what TA said, Tanner Allen. We're going back and forth here. Yeah. All right, that may be a little bit later. Jay Powell will join us at 9:30 on the Farm Bureau Insurance guest line. And this is Brian O'Connor. He's got now he didn't go full blown Augie Garrido where he F-bombed every fourth word. You know that great video that's out on Twitter on Augie Garrido telling his players this is life and death. I mean, the guy's a maniac, okay? At Cal State Fullerton in Texas. No wonder he and Kevin Costner hit it off as super good friends. But Augie Garrido is one of my favorite baseball coaches of all time. He did an amazing job at Cal State Fullerton in Texas. Brian O'Connor goes a little bit Augie Garrido, but you can tell he has an edge here. Now, if you watch the video, you can tell how freaking ticked he is. But this is the edge and the balls and the stuff that you want to push you to go where you want to go. This is Brian O'Connor after a game that they lost, and you can tell he's not happy. He's the new head baseball coach at MSU. He was at Virginia, 9 Super Regionals, 7 College World Series. This is Brian O'Connor.
Better baseball team today. Right now, they're the better baseball team, clearly. In every facet of the game, they're the better baseball team, and they played a heck of a game, and congratulations to Richmond. They came in here and outplayed us in every facet of the game. Part of that is on me. I'm the leader of the program. And I am obviously not succeeding about getting our players ready to play every day and play tough, competitive baseball up to the Virginia baseball standards. So that's on me. It's not on our players. Okay, I own that, right? And so I take responsibility for it, and we're going to just hopefully work and learn and get better. And our competitive spirit and our competitiveness in every phase of the game will get better, because I'm going to absolutely demand it. Because it's not about winning and losing the ball game. It's about being ready to play from pitch one, and we are not doing that. Okay, and that's on me. Okay, they're 18 to 24-year-old kids. Okay, I'm the grown man that's been here for 20 years, and I freaking own it. Okay, that effort today is on me. All right, and but I can promise you, the effort will be better. Okay, because if it's not, I'll find the guys that will show up every day and play with the right intent, that the standards of what this baseball program is built on. That's what I owe everybody.
Your pitching in the second half of the game really settled down. Osinski was good. Was it
Yeah.
like, at that point, is it a case of just not being able to get the timely hit?
Yeah, sure. That's part of it, but we were sleepwalking through the first 4 innings. I thought Osinski did a really nice job.
All right, that's enough. We got
And
what we wanted. Here's what I said several weeks ago, and some of you thought it was funny, and some of you may have eye rolled, and it's all good either way. You need a throat cutter. That's the way it is. College baseball has become ruthless. It wasn't years ago. It is today. And some of you do, if you knew what goes on behind the scenes. Look, travel ball has driven a lot of this, which is fine. But it's a throat cutter business. And did you hear him? If they're not going to do what we need to do, I'll go find some other play. That's got to be the mentality.
Love that.
That has got to be the mentality. And you've had too many players who I'm sure were nice guys, but I'm not. Nice guys can be,
They don't win.
Whatever. You've had too many players who were not SEC caliber. Your lineup should be SEC caliber throughout the roster. You've got to and by the way, look, have you had high-end guys? Yeah, I mean, we've gone through all the Bednars,
Sure,
the Ethan Small, the TA, the Mangum, the Rooker. Jackson mentioned a couple more earlier. Okay, the Westberg and Foscue you've got to have those guys. Premier guys that are going to go in the first, second, or third round. But I'm going to say this too. You've got to raise your floor. You've rolled out too many guys who should be at UT Martin. And that's unacceptable. Or Troy. And it's just, that's not who you are.
Well,
and you've got to get a plan and actually build the roster to the modern era and NIL with a combination of high school. Jackson told me about a couple of dudes they've got out of Purvis.
yeah, boy,
Whew.
JoJo.
All right. So you got to go get, as Ole Miss and Auburn and LSU do, you got to go get high school dudes.
They got 50 of them in the state going D1.
And then, but you got to go get portal guys, that can absolutely get after it.
Right.
You played too many guys that were borderline. And you've got to raise your floor. A lot of times we only look at, I want the next Westberg. I get that. Absolutely. You want the next Gonzalez. You want the next Elko. You want the next Kessinger, Mangum, all these guys, Bosque. But you got to raise your floor. By the way, give Mike Bianco credit.
Oh, yeah.
He did a great job in the portal.
But did they not
He and his assistant coaches, because Tennessee took their liver and their spleen.
Right.
And yet Ole Miss is playing a team that they're superior to. And going for another suit. I don't know how many this will be for Mike, but it's a ton. He's been in a running truckload of super regionals. And then Coach Oz may punch his ticket, first one as a head coach, into the super regional today. Ole Miss plays Murray State at 5. They're favored. Southern Miss plays Miami. Kind of give that a push in the Pete. Late at night tonight, Jackson Meadows told me at 8 o'clock.
That's right.
But back to Mississippi State. You haven't had the continuity What you got?
No, I was just saying. No, I'm looking at the Purvis boys, the twins that are Mr.
Oh, yeah,
Baseball,
okay.
both of them Mr. Baseball.
This has been a weird program because it is your most successful program, even though you've had a tremendous amount of success in football and basketball and women's hoops and other, da da da. But this program is weird. It has been a little bit of an enigma in that you had Polk, who was a good coach, not great but good. And from 77 to 97. And he drove your fan base to love it, crave it, and he is the reason why you have that commitment quotient. Okay? But you didn't do what you needed to do in the postseason. Right? And then you went with McMahon, and Larry Templeton wasn't going to fund at the level that Mac was promised and wanted. Okay, and I think Mac would have been an absolute star if he'd have stayed. He had that throat cutter edge mentality that you needed. Then you brought back Polk, and unfortunately that didn't go well. And then Cohen started this whole new edge throat cutter deal because Bianco and McDonald were throat cut. I mean, they were just absolutely abusing you around the state at Hillcrest and other spots. Memphis area and so on for years before Cohen got in there and got it up and running. Now it's been weird because you've won. You've pumped a ton of players into MLB like Renfro and Mangum and Rooker. But don't you feel like it's been a revolving door? Like Kim Kardashian dating NBA players?
Easy.
I mean, it's like you go Cohen, Cannizzaro, Henderson, Lamonis, Parker, and now you got Brian O'Connor. You feel like you don't feel like you landed an A-lister and a guy that could be there 10 years and could bring you another national championship and play for another one. You want to live over 10 years. You want to be in 4 super regionals, right? You want to pump. Look, what did I read here? Brian O'Connor has coached 102 Major League Baseball draft picks, including 14 first-rounders. You don't just – first-rounders don't just walk down the street every day. No. They don't. And Ole Miss and Mississippi State have had a running truckload of talent go through their program. But you don't just get first-rounders. 31 of his players have reached the major leagues. He was named ACC Coach of the Year 5 times. That's in a league with Florida State, Miami, and North Carolina. And don't kid yourself, NC State can play, Yeah. He earned National Coach of the Year honors 3 times. Congratulations to Zach Selman, Dr. Mark Keenum, and the alums who stepped up and said, it's time to get this thing right. And tip of the cap to Jake Gautreaux, who's been there since, 2018? Through all those coaches?
Yep.
Jake Gautreaux should be a head coach at G5 or Power 4. And Justin Parker, who did an amazing job this year to lead you to the postseason. Florida State was just a better team. That's the kind of roster you got to put together. We're live in the Bank Plus studio. Jay Powell at 9:30.
Say, kids, what time is it?
It's 9 a.m. and this ain't no K show. It's the Out of Bounds Show with Bo Bounds.
All aboard!
As Mississippi's #1 morning show rolls on the Zone 105.9 and online at thezone1059.com.